Πάμε, Χρύσα, είμαστε live.
Third Greek Scientist Society Symposium. Leveraging the soft power of the global Hellenic community towards the Greek and Cypriot Next Generation Innovation Ecosystems 5.0.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. We are very excited that you are joining us from all over the world. Welcome to the third virtual symposium of the Greek Scientist Society on leveraging the soft power of the global Hellenic community towards the Greek and Cypriot Next Gen Innovation Ecosystem 5.0. I'm Chrisa Kokotidou, Senior Scientist at Anodyne Nanotech. Today, in our symposium, we have the great pleasure to be joined by eminent Greeks from every corner of the world. We bring together esteemed panelists from the academia, the industry, and the public domain, who will offer their insight and answer your questions. In this third symposium, we build upon the very interesting ideas that came out from our previous symposia, tech diplomacy and involvement of scientists in diplomatic actions that must be further nurtured and advanced to the next level, take shape and developed into action programs. We will now open the symposium with a few words from the founder of the Greek Scientist Society, Mr. Theos Zacharis. Mr. Zacharis, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Χρύσα. Thank you. I'm thrilled to welcome you all, our distinguished speakers and moderators, as well as the members and friends of the Greek Scientist Society, and the audience across all streaming platforms, into the Greek Scientist Society Third Symposium. It was a year ago when we organized our first symposium, Discover the Way a Greek Scientific Paradigm May Evolve for the Post-COVID Era, that aimed to bring over two ideals to the modern world, a world that's characterized by the digital acceleration and the swift transformation to what was then called the new normal and the new economy, so to move forward by taking advantage of the heritage of the ancient Greek thinking to assist us to tackle these complex issues of the post-COVID-19 era. Last October, we had our second symposium with the title, Discover the Way a Greek Scientific Paradigm May Develop an Innovation Ecosystem 5.0, where we discussed how the Greek scientific paradigm may take flesh and bones and how developed within the boundaries of the next generation innovation ecosystems, embracing the pursuits of Industry 5.0 and realizing the prospects of Society 5.0. Our ultimate goal, aim, is to bring into the center of our society the scientists and the technologists as the genuine careers of generating scientific breakthroughs and groundbreaking technologies, but also the young entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs that will realize the future innovation for the benefit of the society. It is unfortunate that this third symposium is taking place amid the war in Ukraine, an incident that most probably will characterize, reflect on, and influence the next generation. We owe to them to be prepared for any menace now or in the future. It seems also that we enter a new era of geopolitical turmoil, and we need to be ready as a society to tackle with unforeseen threats, especially in the form of actions by totalitarian regimes. In case of a battle like that, we all rely to scientists and technologists to shield us from the external threats, protecting and preserving our ideals of democracy and open market and our way of life, and prevailing at the end in this fighting. As we leave behind this pandemic And with the hope to get out of this humanitarian crisis, from the war in the Ukraine, as soon as possible, to regain our life to some sort of status quo antebellum before the war, we remain firmly in our main goal to support the development of a next-generation innovative ecosystem in Greece and Cyprus via this Greek scientific paradigm, by promoting the good science to support the mandates of Society 5.0, which is a human-centered society that balances economic advancement with the resolution of social problems by a system that highly integrates cyberspace and physical space. In this third symposium, leveraging the soft power of the global Hellenic community towards the Greek and Cypriot next generation innovation ecosystems 5.0, we seek to discuss more practical issues. In the new era, hopefully a peaceful one, innovation in science and technology is the spark to transform a nation into a technologically advanced one. Small countries like Greece and Cyprus need to use all the necessary means to become successful in that front. Our diaspora is frequently mentioned as a game changer for helping Hellenism find its position for the time to come. It is perceived to be, and it is a soft power that we have to incorporate in every arrangement we compile for the future. We discuss these matters with the aim to identify the role of scientists and technologists in promoting our position in the global landscape via science and tech diplomacy, to combine the wealth of experiences and capabilities of our diaspora by incorporating our distinctive talent in life sciences to the dawn of the Greek biopharma innovation, to set up and build the momentum for a tech innovation ecosystem in Greece and Cyprus. Let me please say a few words about the Greek Scientist Society. Please give me a moment to upload, to share my screen. I'm not going to go through the video to save some time. We have later Professor Sifakis and the Q&A. We are going to have around 10 minutes Q&A. It would be nice to hear from Professor Sifakis his thoughts about the national innovation policy. You can read about the Greek Science Society in our LinkedIn group, on our site, and things like that. Let me share our objectives. Our objective is to facilitate and nurture the next generation innovation ecosystems 5.0 for scientists and technologies to deliver the solutions for the new era, all the way from the lab to scale up and beyond. We plan to develop an AI-enabled computing platform, so to conform all Greek and Cypriot scientists and technologies, and provide them the necessary means. We plan to develop innovation ecosystems per technology area, scientific area, use case, or by geography. And at the end, to organize the global Hellenic scientists and technologists network in the form of scientific amphictyonies. It all started on December 1st, 2020. We already concluded phase 1. The target there was to reach the 20,000 members, a critical mass. With 3 months delay, we managed to succeed on this objective. Now we enter into phase 2, and on half 2023, we plan to enter phase 3. You can see here the development of the members on LinkedIn every 4 months. And some nice figures: 61% reside in Greece, 7.5% in Cyprus, another 7.5% in the United States, 10% around 10% in the United Kingdom, and in the rest of the European countries around 12%. Here are the top 10 categories. There are 150 LinkedIn industry categories, information technology, research, higher education, and things like that. But this is not, it's just an indicative. For example, we have 3,327 professors in our LinkedIn group, 4,300 researchers. We have around more than 2,170 medical doctors. There are hospital doctor, another category, 1,350, which is maybe mixed. We have to remain for some time in order to have the full statistics for our group. Regarding the next steps, we already started building the community portal. In a few months, we will start the news and blog site, and on 2023 to start building an AI-enabled computing platform. The long run, in our attempt to develop an innovation, to support in developing an innovation ecosystem, we're humble enough to believe that we are going, but we are going to assist in any way with our humble power, the Greek and Cypriot innovation ecosystems. 2023, a local ecosystem. Now this year, a pilot micro ecosystem. 2024-5, innovation ecosystem. Next generation, 2030. So by 2050, to excel in 3 hot technology scientific areas worldwide. Our plan of progress in this phase 1, which is the computing platform and the multiple innovation ecosystems, we have something like 40 and 10%. And let me say a few words about the geography. We locate at the moment UK, Greece, and Cyprus, but the future, through the scientific amphitheonies, we expect to migrate the model all over the world. The areas to focus, they are not restrictive. Life sciences, synthetic biology, information technologies, quantum computing, renewable energy sources. We are going to speak later about this. As you may know, we have already started in Q21, the first quarter of 2021 in life sciences, in third quarter in information technologies, and at the end of 2021 in engineering network. Areas to focus, again, not restrictive. Space economy, aerospace and defense, renewable energy sources, information technologies. In general, doesn't mean that it has to be quantum computing, but we most probably focus on that area, and in life sciences. I'm closing with the hope that we will support to make Greece a new paradigm of science. Thank you so much.
Theo, thank you very much for sharing your vision and your ideas with the whole society of the Greek and the Cypriot scientists. At this point, we'd like to introduce Professor Joseph Sifakis. Professor Sifakis is a Greek-French computer scientist, laureate of the 2007 Turing Award, and he has been a full professor at École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne and the founder of the Very Mag Laboratory. He will talk to us about a national innovation strategy, the vision, and the implementation. Professor Sifakis, you can take on from here. Professor Sifakis, you are muted.
Sorry. Okay. So now you can hear me, I suppose. So It is a pleasure to talk about innovation and the perspective of the national innovation strategy in Greece. It has been clear for more than a decade that the way out of the crisis that the country is going through can only be achieved by the development of a modern and competitive economy driven by technology and innovation. Innovation has been declared a top priority in many programmatic statements of many governments. For years, the media and officials have been very optimistic about the possibility of Greece or one of its regions becoming a kind of Silicon Valley. Today, it is clear that nothing concrete has been done in this direction and that the situation has not changed over the past 10 years. Innovation is just a buzzword in programmatic wish lists, and I doubt that decision makers realize that innovation-driven development, what is innovation-driven development. In this talk, I would like to discuss two issues. Explain under which historical conditions and processes innovation tend to be the engine for economic growth at the end of the 20th century. And second, how, drawing on examples from other countries, we can develop a Greek strategy for sustainable development based on innovation. To start, I will say that in the 60s and 70s, there was little interaction between university research and industrial research. Large companies developed R&D in their own laboratories to cover their needs, from basic research to applied research and development. For instance, in the field of ICT, we have famous industrial laboratories that have been the driving force behind the development of cutting-edge technologies. These laboratories were AT's, NT's, Bell Labs, Xerox PARC, IBM Yorktown. These labs have brought together an impressive number of Nobel laureates and renowned engineers who have advanced the state of the art in this field. In the 80s, we observed a new situation resulting from the convergence between university research and corporate R&D. We are witnessing the emergence of innovation ecosystems that bring together three types of players: large companies, centers of excellence, and startups. Each of these players has a specific role. Industry brings funding and new problems. Centers of excellence provide basic research, skills, and knowledge. And startups, of course, are lean structures capable of efficiently transforming the results of innovation into products and services. In addition, innovation ecosystems are characterized by a creative culture, human capital, and quality of life. They are established in regions where it is good to live. Their development is supported by public subsidies and benefits from funding from private investors and financial institutions and venture capital. Innovation ecosystems are based on a virtuous cycle that maintains and reinforces the symbiosis and collaboration between players. Centers of excellence obtain additional resources from industry and enrich the research portfolio at the same time. Industry avoids the risks and costs of basic exploratory research and focuses on applications and proof of concept. Let me emphasize that innovation ecosystems which originated in the United States are now a universal concept and collaboration scheme applied in all countries. The secret source of their success is the synergy between all the factors, including research, technology transfer, industry adoption, investment, and venture capital. An interesting observation about innovation is that you don't have to be an economic giant or a superpower to have a good position in the innovation arena. Ideas and creative manpower matter more than we have innovation champions among the large countries, developed or developing, but also among small countries. Israel is now a famous case, and I think also it is an interesting case for Greece because of the many similarities between the two countries. Switzerland is a very innovative nation, judging from the number of IPs and patents they hold. Taiwan, of course, has achieved global leadership in chip manufacturing, and the Scandinavian countries have a very effective model in place with a strong coupling between research and technology transfer. So these examples of small countries show that Greece's case is not hopeless. It makes sense to aim for an innovation-based economy if we take the right initiatives and measures. What are the measures to be taken? I would like first to stress the importance of human factor. This is something that is completely neglected by government policies and practices that are somehow reductionist and ignore human factors. The deficit of vision and ideas and of moral values cannot be compensated by material goods. We must restore meritocracy and belief in the common good, as well as support and recognition for creative initiative. I think we should radically reform the research system by working in two directions: critical mass and excellence. Why critical mass? The research landscape in Greece is very fragmented, with universities, institutes, and other institutions. We need critical mass that focuses on certain strategic research areas. Today, breakthroughs in R&D require multidisciplinary knowledge and research supported by experimental evidence. They require a combination of skills ranging from basic research to applied research and development. From my own experience as the president of the National Research and Technology Council for the period 2014-16, there is a problem of relevance and lack of connection to the real economy. I think the available research potential should be restructured, for example, on a regional basis, for instance, to establish 4 regional centers of excellence with strong governance and focus. The other direction is excellence. We must change the criteria for recruitment, promotion, and evaluation to take into account the relevance and applicability of results. Workforce market is global. Research and academic careers should become more attractive. We cannot retain in the country high-value researchers with poor salaries in a bureaucratic, rigid, and unfair system. Finally, I would like to emphasize the importance of openness and international collaboration taken to foster effective collaboration with the huge academic potential of the Greek diaspora, as has been done successfully in other countries such as Israel and China. From a broader perspective, the government should consider R&D and innovation as top priorities, and we should strengthen technology and engineering at all levels of education. A Greek innovation strategy should have 2 components. First, identify the country's assets on which we can build an innovation-driven economy. And second, implement the necessary structural reforms. The development and implementation of this strategy cannot be achieved by issuing decrees, laws, and wishful thinking. It requires a well-planned and active collaboration of all factors for its realization. It also requires a dialogue and synthesis that would define a roadmap with priorities and milestones, specify the respective roles of the key players, and orchestrate their action toward common goals. With respect to industry, we should move away from inward-looking, state-subsidized enterprises and promote the development of innovation-driven enterprises capable of competing internationally. The government should take steps to promote incentives to develop R&D programs targeting sectors of national interest, such as defense and space, agriculture and food, shipbuilding and equipment. Finally, all these efforts need to be supported by investment. Despite dramatic decline in labor costs in Greece and the availability of highly skilled workforce, Greece is not attractive enough to foreign investors. Investors need guarantees that the laws of economy and that state will work. In conclusion, I think that we have so far wasted valuable time in long discussions and vain speculations about the future. We should stop pushing open doors and simply find the political will and the courage to undertake the necessary reforms and to move diligently and quickly toward the goal. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Sefakis, for this wonderful talk and insightful as well. At this point, we'll have a few minutes break before continuing with the sessions of the day. So thank you very much and stay tuned.
Teresa,
Okay,
we may
thank
have one question.
I didn't know about
Professor
this. Yeah.
Sefakis Professor Kirisis apologizes for the Ukraine typo. Professor Sefakis, can you please answer this question? What will be the impact of the current war?
What will be the impact of the current war in Ukraine? The impact on what? On what we want to do?
Globalization and the fourth industrial revolution as technology enable of this paradigm of multilateral collaboration. Will this affect the global?
There is some risk here to stop somehow the globalization process. This is a risk, and I would like that we avoid this, of course. So to see the key players playing separately with their partners, and this globally will not be good. But it's very hard to say what can happen exactly. There is this risk to stop this globalization process.
Wonderful.
If there are other questions, I would be delighted to answer.
So if there's any other questions?
No, I can't see something, and I can't.
Okay.
So we can now conclude this first session.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sefakis.
Thank you.